Hello everyone. Welcome to the start of the 2020 general session of the legislature. I'm Christofferson. I represent Lehigh, American Fork, and Highland. And it's been a wild week, as you can imagine. It's always exciting to start a new session, but this session was a little different. It felt different because of some of the work that we've been doing on tax reform and the repeal of the tax reform. And with the voice of the people saying they didn't like what was being proposed, we felt like we needed to repeal that so that we're not hung up in limbo for the year until a vote's taken, and this allows us to move forward on some decisions. There are some good parts of the tax bill that were proposed. There was a big cut, $160 million out of the income taxes, and then what we were attempting to do is shift money from income taxes to sales taxes, because income tax can only be used for education, and the sales tax is being reduced to per capita. It's falling and doesn't cover all of the general fund requirements, and so we felt that we needed to make sure that in the next year or two, we're not in trouble on our financing and our budget. And that's one of the main things that we do as a legislature, is balance the budget. But this year I do have a tax bill that I've opened that I'm trying to take advantage of some of those tax cuts and reduce the cost of government and adjust some of the structure, which will help us in that inequity in our structure. We're discussing that as a body. Others have tax bills too, and we want to coordinate a little bit so that we can say, we heard from the people the things they didn't like about the tax bill, but we do want to take advantage of those things that are best. I wanted to talk about appropriations committees a little bit. Right now we're working on the budget. I'm on the Natural Resources, Agriculture, and Environmental Quality Appropriations Committee. We know that the budget may be tight this year, and we're looking at zero-based budgeting on some of the agencies. We want to say we're going to cut where we can and look at programs. If we don't need the program, we'd like to cut that. If we can make it more efficient, we want to do that. If they can do it with less money, that's what we're trying to do. That'll be about a 2.5-week process. I did talk to Representative Chris Stewart this morning. He was in town, and I asked him about PILT payments. PILT stands for Payment in Lieu of Taxes. And when Utah was made a state, we didn't get all the land. The federal government held some of that land and turned it over. They were supposed to turn all of the land over to Utah for management. And when they decided not to give Utah all of the land, Utah said, we at least want payment or some kind of help, because we're losing all that land that could be used for taxes for our education, transportation. And they agreed to that. And it was supposed to be an equivalent replacement for taxes. And right now, what we're getting is probably a quarter of the value of the land at its lowest valuation. So what we want to do is say, let's get the federal government to live up to its promises and pay Utah not only what it owes us, but to be consistent, because it has not been consistent in the payment, even though it's been low. And so we want to get them to help us with that promise that they made. So that's a busy week. We'll have a rest for a couple of days and start in next week. I think it'll get cranking up a little harder next week. So thanks, and good to talk to all of you.